Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian. I have decided I will vlog daily from my country, Ukraine, since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts from our history, culture or whatever interests you. And today we had Boris Johnson visiting Kyiv for the second time, and to tell you the truth, we had lots of funny pictures on Facebook yesterday after the visit of Macron and the way he hugged and kissed our president. And one of these memes said that Boris Johnson perhaps feels jealous, and it was really funny to some extent to meet him the very next day in Kyiv. But to tell you the truth, once again, Boris Johnson is definitely much more popular in Ukraine, and we are very grateful for him, for his support of Ukraine during this war, at the very beginning of this war, when many European leaders were in doubt or believed that Kyiv will fall under Russian pressure very quickly, and they did not know whom to support and simply waited and observed. But definitely yesterday's visit perhaps influenced the decision of European Commission that advised to proclaim Ukraine a candidate for the European Union. I do know that it is not a final step, and perhaps the road to the European Union will be really long, but it is an important symbolic choice and demonstration to Russia that Ukraine definitely belongs both to Europe historically and to European Union politically. Another important information that I want to update you on is the fact that since it seems to me the 1st of July, Ukraine will have a visa regime with Russia. And actually I think this is something that should have happened maybe in 1991 when Ukraine became independent, or for sure in 2014 when Russia started its aggression war on the territory of Ukraine and annexed Crimea. And this is important, well, first of all, because this is a diplomatic and political gesture, but it is also important because lots of special agents and people who work for Russia come using the opportunity of visa-free regime. And from what I know, relatives in Russia and relatives in Belarus are very often under pressure of FSB and other typical structures, because they are encouraged to provide information about Ukraine, they are encouraged to influence some things. And I do know that many of these things, when Ukrainians give information abroad, are due to the fact that their relatives in Belarus or in Russia are under stress, under arrest, or anything else. So it is really important to make it difficult to travel free for people from Russia to Ukraine, and of course for people from Ukraine to Russia. I have even come across some jokes that perhaps we should make an embassy that allows this visa not in Ukraine but somewhere in the United Kingdom or elsewhere. Another important information, by the way, that Ukrainians loved very much is that Boris Johnson invited Ukrainian soldiers to participate in important teachings in Britain, and I think that all of these steps are very important for our NATO future, because the more we are introduced to standards, new kinds of weapons, the stronger we become. And it is extremely mutually beneficiary, because now Ukrainians gain unique experience we would like not to have in our life, but I do believe that our soldiers, our generals, can be very interesting in future for the specialists in various armies of the world, because perhaps this is the huge war, something that did not happen, luckily did not happen from the end of the Second World War, but at the same time this is a tremendous experience for Ukrainian armed forces, and I do believe we will go up higher in the rating of military forces in the world. And another good news in this sphere is that Ukrainian soldiers have shot and sank another warship, Russian warship, that traveled to island Zmyiny, and we don't know for sure, maybe using Harpoon, maybe using Neptune, but the information about the sinking of this ship is more important. And an update about Belarus. This is actually the country that is already almost a part of Russia, and this kind of future Putin wanted for Ukraine, but failed. And of course, despite direct presence of Belarusian troops, the country has opened its borders, has given its territory for Russian armed forces, and they were using the territory of Belarus to shoot, to attack, to hit the targets in Ukraine. And these days we are more concerned about the activities in Belarus because they have brought some new weapons closer to the borders, for example, with my region. And this might be a sign that Russians plan to use aviation in the north and west of Ukraine to target our railways, some military objects, or maybe civilians, as they like doing it in Ukraine. But from what I understand, more troops are returning back to the north and west of Ukraine because Belarus is becoming more active these days, and dictator Lukashenko once again speaks that Belarus does not want to fight with Ukraine, but it is the West who provokes. And you know that Russian and Belarus propaganda spread rumors that Poland wants to occupy Western Ukraine, and this is where I live. And I don't see any signs that Poland wants to occupy the territories. They occupy our hearts with love for the support that they share to Ukrainian people. But Belarusians say they are ready to protect us from Poland, just the same way Russians protect the rest of Ukraine from living normal life. I am not very much concerned about these warnings, but perhaps we will have to be more attentive with the air raids and follow the instructions closer. And thank you very much for watching my videos, for your subscriptions. They mean a lot because they provide me a platform to share more about Ukraine, and all these updates are important for us because we need the support of the world. Please do not get used to the war in Ukraine. Thank you for your coffees, for becoming my patrons. Slava Ukraini!